Hopefully you guys can hear me. This is the preview. Sergey Kovalev, Andre Ward unified light heavyweight title fight that's taking place in a couple of hours time. I got what's on right now? David Lemieux fight is on at the moment. Let me know who's in the chat room. Tippy Tom, what's up? What's good? Who else is awake? Who else is up? Depending on where you are in the world, it might be some crazy time right now. Phil Mitchell, you think GGG will kill him? Well, GGG's not fighting. It's Kovalev, the Crusher. Styler Kizzle, what's good? Yes, yes. Benji, what's up? Tom, what's good? KB, gas for this, definitely. Reaps Gaming. All right, there's a lot of people in now. Yeah, the fight will probably be on around 4, I reckon so, yeah. Yes, Marcus Byfield. Big up, Liam. Shaky Jake. You can't believe you're actually staying up to watch your Ward fight, I know. Yeah. I've got a stream. I mean, try the usual streaming sites. I forget the name of them now, but I didn't have any problem finding the stream. I'm definitely not paying for it. You know, paying for it is not an option for me. Sometimes I wish it was, but yeah. Depending on where you are in the world, you might have to stream it. All right, let me sort out some settings first, and you guys tell me who's gonna win, how are they gonna win. Is it gonna be a knockout? Is it gonna be points? Is it gonna be a good fight, or will it be a chess match? Because fights like this sometimes turn out to be good fights when you don't expect them to be win. You expect a lot of chess, it can sometimes turn out to be compelling. And you know what? I think it might turn out to be entertaining because Kovalev, at least early on, is going to feel like there's nothing to fear from Andre Ward. I know he was cautious against, he was fairly cautious against Bernard Hopkins, but that was really his biggest, by far the biggest fight at that point in his career. So maybe he just wanted to be careful, but I don't know. I think in this fight, he won't be that careful until he gets tagged. Then he might change his mind. We'll see. Who's got the Lemieux fight on right now? Because I'm watching this Lemieux situation unfolded. All right, Jack Corley has got Kovalev on points. Thinks it'll be like the B-Hop fight, but maybe more competitive with Kovalev hurting or maybe dropping him. Yannick says no stream sites for me. Oh wow. No, I'm just looking at the Lemieux fight. He just dropped this guy, Tapia. Oh, the fight stopped. Lemieux wins. Andre getting hurt. Ward on points. Hammond. How do you find out? To be honest, how do you find out when I'm gonna stream live? It's quite random, to be honest. You know, when time permits, I stream when I stream. Normally I stream on a Friday night. That's what I've been doing the past couple weeks. But I didn't end up streaming last night, so I'm streaming tonight instead. But normally I'll try to keep it to a Friday night. Anyone that's on Facebook, go to my Facebook boxing group, Hatman Boxing, and you'll find streams in there. And in fact, I'm sure there's a lot of people streaming it on Facebook anyway, like using Facebook Live or whatever it's called to actually stream. I've seen a lot of people stream fights like that now. The music. You got Lennox Lewis commentating on this particular stream. Yeah, Lemieux won. 1 second, guys. Let me just sort out something here. Good to see plenty of people in the chat. We got 86 people locked in. Kovalev late TKO. All right. Someone says Kovalev late TKO. Same Hussein says was gonna sleep for a couple hours. Now you're keeping me awake. Wood win on points. You know what I've noticed? Davy Boy Essex. Yes. You know what I've noticed is when the fight was first announced, there was a lot of people picking Kovalev. But as the fight got closer, more and more people started switching over to Ward. But now that we're actually on fight night, people are switching back to Kovalev again. I've noticed that. Sports Epicenter says no way is Ward gonna get KO'd. We'll see. I mean, everybody can get KO'd. They get hit with a right shot. So can Kovalev hit him with a right shot? That is the question. I think the people who are picking Kovalev, the main argument is, well, the main rationale is that Ward doesn't have anything to keep Kovalev off him with. That's the rationale. Like, how will Ward get Kovalev's respect? How will he stop him from just walking in and attacking? That's the thing that people are wondering about. Particularly after Ward's last two performances against Sullivan Barrera and I can't remember the other guy's name now, the Colombian guy. People are looking at those fights and thinking, is this going to be enough to defeat Sergey Kovalev? That is the question. Can he keep Kovalev off of him with what you've seen of him in his past couple fights? Darnell Boone said he's going for Kovalev KO. Actually, I was talking to Darnell Boone the other day, and Boone said that he has the tape of the first fight with Kovalev, because for some mysterious reason you can't find the tape of the first Boone Kovalev fight online. But Boone says he has it and he's going to upload it after this weekend. And for those of you who don't know about the first Boone Kovalev fight, Boone actually dropped Kovalev and hurt him, apparently hurt him badly in the first fight. And a lot of people felt like Darnell Boone actually won that fight, the people that saw it. So I'd be very interested to see that fight and see exactly. In fact, Darnell Boone said that he actually dropped Kovalev several times, but I think only one of the knockdowns was called. This is what Darnell Boone says. So I'd like to see the fight and, find out. Corruption in Boxing says Boone was robbed on points. Yeah, that's what they say. I haven't seen the fight myself, but they say that Boone was robbed in the first Kovalev fight. We will see. Adam F. Patrick says Ward's skill set can negate Kovalev. Slippery as an eel. Kovalev's never faced an elite boxer like that. I agree. He hasn't faced an elite boxer, but I don't think Ward has faced a puncher like Kovalev so far as a pro. I think he's been in there with guys who hit hard, but not like Kovalev. Yes, what's up? Yes, sir. 1 second here before I get back to the comments. Sort something out here. try to get to my watch page now. I'm off the watch page. Man, how can I watch Lemieux fight coverage? Like I said, if you guys go to my you see some people are saying that the streams are not working for them. So I don't know, maybe there are certain service providers. I don't know what your internet service provider is, but there might be certain internet service providers that are actually blocking the streams, but other people are managing to stream okay. So it might depend on your service provider, but there is definitely I mean, my stream works fine. I'm watching the Lemieux fight right now. Actually, the Lemieux fight is over. Now it's the Curtis Stevens fight. So the Stevens fight is on now, and there's other people in my Facebook group that are watching the streams okay. So it might be down to your internet service provider. If any of you are on Android, there's an app called Mobdro. Yeah, try Mobdro, because that might be a way to watch the streams. Mobdro is a very good app. Yeah, so try Mobdro. You can watch it on your phone if worst comes to worst. All right, 1 sec here. Try to get to my own stream now. Oh, Curtis Stevens dropped this guy. Wow. Who is the guy though? I've never seen him before. Oh, fight's over. Curtis Stevens knocks the guy out in the second round. So Lemieux just won by KO, and Stevens also won by KO. Nice punch. Yeah, go to VIP League, and it's under boxing. Says Brian Mitchell. All right, yes, big up Nassau. Big up Mr. Martinez. Fibs and Hatman crap me up with their banter. Yes, where is Fibs right now? Nathaniel Sterling says, Hatman, you still picking Kovalev to beat Ward? I was nearly going to change my prediction, but I'm going to stick with my original prediction. So yeah, I'm taking the Crusher. I'm taking the Crusher to win. The thing is that Crusher eventually, surely he has to hit Ward. And I just think his punching power is so destructive that wherever he hits you, he hurts you. If he hits you on the arm, if he hits you on the shoulder, in the chest, in the body, he hurts you. Even his jabs are hurting people. I mean, Isaac Chilemba is tough as nails. And even he hit the canvas against Krusher Kovalev. And bear in mind that Isaac Chilemba has much longer arms than Andre Ward. You know, Andre Ward's actually got a 71-inch reach. That is a shorter reach than Floyd Mayweather, who's a welterweight. I believe Kovalev actually has longer arms than Ward, but Ward may have faster feet, faster hands, possibly. ACDC says Ward will dismantle Kovalev. We will see soon enough who the man is at 175 pounds. Adonis Stevenson notwithstanding. Ward dominates first 4 or 5 rounds, then Kov starts to find him, maybe a knockdown, then Ward cuts him unintentionally, then gets Kov fired up and stops him late, 10 to 11. Barry McGuigan had a reach which was 68, so Ward has a short reach. Yeah, Ward does have a short reach. He does have a short reach. The Android app is called Mobdro. 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 It's a very good app for streaming. Tebow says, Hatman, I have a serious question. I didn't really understand why Virgil Hunter got emotional with the fact that Kovalev got paid $2 million. Explain to me, please. I think it's just mind games. It's just Kovalev. It's just Virgil Hunter trying to get under Team Kovalev skin, just trying to upset them in any way he can. Obviously, he tries to do it in a polite way, but yeah, I think he's just trying to upset them. That's all. TRF, yes, what's good? What's good? Glad to have you locked in. Yep, Mobdro. That's the name of the streaming app for Android. If any of you can't find a stream on your PC or whatever, try on your Android phone. Adam says, what you smoking, Hatman? I am smoking absolutely nothing. I do not smoke. Hatman, what's in this undercard? Well, we just had Lemieux and we had Stevens. I'm not sure what else is going to be on. I can't remember, to be honest. Peter Mack, who do I think will win? I'm rolling with the Crusher. A fight of this magnitude should really have a larger audience. None of my friends even know this fight is happening. Well, this is a fight for the boxing hardcore, really. It's not a crossover fight. I know it's pay-per-view in the United States, but it's a hardcore fight. Neither Ward nor Kovalev have really got crossover appeal. So at least not in the at this point in time. So yeah. Bro, you know, a lot of people here slating Adonis Stevenson, but the fight could have happened in 2015 if Kovalev and his team didn't pull out of the purse bid. So you have to give Stevenson credit for actually going ahead with the purse bid, and Kovalev pulled out. I think the problem between Kovalev and Stevenson is just the business. If they were both on the same network, the fight probably would have happened by now. But obviously, you know, Stevenson went to where the biggest money was. That's what it was. Yes, big up. Shout out, Hatman, my lad. Yes, big up, big up. I'm trying to read your name before it goes off the screen. You know, one thing I can say, um, this is, you know, something I find interesting, is that Kovalev has never really faced a puncher yet in his professional career. He hasn't really faced any punchers who, you know, Hopkins is not a puncher. Um, Pascal's not really a big puncher. He hasn't faced any punches yet, so I'd like to see at some point Kovalev, sorry, fight a puncher. If you look at Stevenson's actually fought more punches than Kovalev has. Stevenson fought Bellew. Bellew's a puncher. He fought Tavoris Cloud at the time. Cloud was a puncher. He fought Fonfara. Fonfara can bang. Whereas Kovalev hasn't really fought any punches yet. So, Beterbiev versus Kovalev is a fight I want to see. I'm disappointed because Beterbiev was mandatory for Kovalev's title and he forfeited his mandatory position, I think because he got injured. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that didn't take place. Because I would love to see Beterbiev versus Kovalev. Oh, yeah, he did fight Boone. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's the only time he really fought a puncher. Although Boone, you know, he's a very hit and miss kind of fighter. He's a journeyman, really, but back in the days, he was a dangerous journeyman. He obviously dropped and nearly knocked out Ward. He knocked out Stevenson, and he dropped and hurt Kovalev. So yeah, Boone was a, you know, dangerous journeyman back in the days. Bellew or Breedis? I'm leaning towards Breedis. Although Bellew has been improving. I have to say that. Bellew has been improving. But he gets hit a lot and he's very hot-headed. Kovalev has been sparring Vodcek. That's interesting. Has he been beating the crap out of Vodcek in sparring? I remember Vodcek's last fight. I think it was his last fight against what's the guy called now? Karpensi. And Vodcek got dropped and hurt badly in the first round. And that same Karpensi was the guy who, well, he beat Chad Dawson, but then he got knocked out by Stevenson in a couple of rounds. He got bowled over. So it was a bit disturbing seeing Vodcek drop like that in the first by Karpensi, who I don't think Karpensi is a noted puncher. You know, I've never noticed any serious power on him before. So Yannick says, Hatman, I don't think Kovalev's chin is. I think Kovalev's chin is not great. We'll see, I guess, whenever he fights somebody that can bang. All right, we got a couple. As usual, man, we got some weird trolling going on here of the homosexual variety. I don't know why. Why is it that some people always want to bring gay trolling to my streams? Weird stuff. Is Dawson still fighting? I'm not sure, you know. I'm not sure if he's still fighting or not. I certainly haven't seen him fight for a long time. Harley Marshall, yes, what's good? He took Pascal's shots. Yeah, Pascal's not really a puncher though. You know, Pascal's not really a puncher. He's an athletic guy and he's powerfully built, but he's never really been a big puncher at light heavyweight. Who do I rate as the pound for pound king now? I haven't really thought about it, to be honest, because pound for pound is not really something that I generally do. But yeah, I haven't really thought about who's the pound for pound king now, because you do have to weigh up a lot of different factors and you can argue a lot of different ways about why somebody would be pound for pound king. Tebow says Dawson fought this year and KO Cornelius White. Okay, thank you for the info. Didn't realize that. How did he look? Did he look good? Is he back? Rob Lowe says, do you think Kovalev can win on points or does he have to stop Ward? I think he can win on points. Yeah, I think he can. Sports Epicenter says if Wood defeats Mayweather, I would put him above Mayweather straight up. Hatman Abel Sanchez said Kovalev is untrainable. Well, I think it's clear that Kovalev is a hard-headed type of character. So John David Jackson works with Kovalev. He don't really, you know, he's certainly not an authoritarian trainer. He goes there and assists Kovalev in his training, and that seems quite clear from the things that John David Jackson has said in terms of training Kovalev. He's there to assist Kovalev in training. He's not really there to tell him do this, do that. Kovalev has a lot of input in terms of strategy and what kind of training he'll be doing and all that type of stuff. So yeah, Kovalev's one of them kind of guys who doesn't like being dictated to, clearly, by his trainer. And so far it's worked for him. I mean, they say he can't be trained, but so far in his career, what he's won world titles and beat top guys, so it's working at the moment. There may come a time when it will backfire on him, when he needs to listen, when he should have listened in the gym. Maybe that time will come. But up to this point, what he's doing is work well. Does Ward beat GGG? Says Mike T Football TV. I think so. I think that Ward would have a better chance of beating Triple G than Kovalev, just based on styles. Abel says Kovalev is arrogant. Maybe. Hatman, what is Ward's natural weight? Well, light heavyweight, I would say. He's light heavyweight now. He couldn't make 168 anymore, so I would say at this point his natural weight is light heavyweight. But obviously, when Ward was amateur, he was light heavyweight, and as when they turned pro, they dropped down a weight. Sometimes they drop down 2 or 3 weights because in the amateurs you have to weigh in on the day of the fight, so you can't dehydrate yourself to get artificially low in weight. Whereas in the pros, you get over 24 hours to rehydrate. So most pros most pros turn professional at a lower weight than they were in the amateurs. Then they finished off their amateur careers. Yeah, Stevens' fault. The Stevens fight has already been on. He knocked the guy out in the second round. Hatman for president. Mike T Football says Hatman should and needs to be on Sky Sports. Kovalev is vulnerable to the body. Isaac short right fatigued Sergey. I also agree that some of the body work that Chilemba was doing did get to Kovalev. They say that Kovalev wasn't really in the best shape, but I do think that the body shots, I agree, the body shots did have an effect on Kovalev. And I just have to make a few comments as well about what happened last night with Edward Gutneck and the George Groves fight. Gutneck has now had surgery, brain surgery, and I'm assuming that is to get rid of a blood clot in the brain. So it was very unfortunate what happened to Gutneck. Now, I think, now obviously boxing is a dangerous sport. So there's always going to be these type of tragedies that happen, people that get brain injuries. So all we can do is try to take measures to reduce the risk of these kind of things happening. And one of the things I think that needs to happen in boxing is that cutting weight needs to be completely banned. We need to have fighters fighting at their natural weight. You can't be doing all this rehydration stuff. Big up Sleepy Afro Films. Yes, long time. Foundation, man. Long time. Big up Sleepy Afro. Niger boy that. Yeah, so you can't have people dehydrating as much as they are. And surely there are fairly simple tests that they can do on a fighter to find out if the fighter's dehydrated or not. And you could just have a urine sample or a small blood sample or whatever on, during or after the weigh-in, just before or after the weigh-in. And if the fighter is significantly dehydrated, they're not allowed to fight. I don't see why they couldn't implement something like that, because then that would force fighters to fight at their natural weight instead of, fighting way above the actual weight class come fight night, because dehydration greatly increases the risk of brain injury. That's been shown, medically proven. I mean, if you're not dehydrated, it doesn't eliminate the danger of brain injury, obviously, but being dehydrated significantly increases the danger of it. So all this weight cutting and dehydration, they need to get rid of all that. They need to ban all that in boxing. Yeah. Hi man, what do you think about Ward TKO in Kovalev in the 11th? He's gonna have to land a hell of a lot of punches to TKO Kovalev, I think. Hi man, do you think Nicholas Walters will beat Lomachenko? No, I don't. I think Lomachenko will win that fight, probably on points. Greetings, sir, and greetings to you as well. Lyricson. Just to know, are you going to comment on the fight live? We'll see how it goes. The fight is quite a long way away, a couple of hours away, so we'll see how it goes. I might do. Wilder says he wishes to be 250, but he can't gain. Yeah, he's a naturally slim guy. He is one of those kind of guys that will struggle to put large amounts of muscle on, because he is naturally very slim. Yeah, I am kind of afraid that Channel 5 will give up on boxing, because this is the second time in what, a year, less than a year, that they've had a tragedy like this happen. Thankfully with Nick Blackwell, he made a full recovery because he didn't require surgery, and Nick Blackwell didn't actually have a blood clot on his brain. So yeah. Yes, Antonio, locked in. I think Briggs has better power than Wilder, says Bo Sertra. I mean, if we put all these heavyweights on a machine to measure punching power, you'll probably be quite surprised who actually hits hardest. It might not even be the best guy in the division. It might just be some random guy who ends up having the hardest punch. Because there's a difference between hitting a stationary object and hitting a moving target that's punching back in a boxing ring. Obviously, the latter is a lot more complex, whereas a stationary target, you can load up as much as you like and get as much power as you want. So maybe Briggs does hit harder, like hitting a stationary target, than a guy like Wilder. But Wilder's able to land a hard shot in the blink of an eye. He's much sharper than Shannon Briggs with his power. Hammer, your thoughts on main events and Kathy Duva? Well, I always wondered what happened with Kathy Duva and the Duva family, because Kathy Duva is married into that family. She's not actually a bloodline Duva. And the original main events, well, Kathy Duva was married to, God, who was she married to? Dan or Dino Duva? I forget now. She was married to one of the Duvas anyway, and that's how she got into the business. And the Duvas, Dan, Dino, and obviously Lou, they were the Duva outfit. They would train and promote and manage fighters. And after Kathy Duva's husband died, she broke away from the Duva team, and somehow she ended up with main events. And the original Duva team are called something else now. They're not even called main events. So I always wondered what happened there. But aside from all that, Duva's done well for herself, I guess. And she's got Kovalev. She's got a couple of fighters here and there, but she's not a major player in the world of boxing promotion. And if Kovalev had been with a major promoter, he probably could have made more money than he's made so far. If he was with K2, for example, the people that promote Triple G, he probably would be making a lot more money than he's making right now. But at a time when Kovalev signed to Kathy Duva, nobody else was really interested in him. So I guess he had to go wherever he could go. Yes, Nick Diaz, what's good? Good to have you in the house. Cam Bartfield says, Hatman, what do you make of the BT Box Nation deal? I'm very, very interested in what's going to go on with this BT Box Nation. This BT Box Nation deal. Man in the Water says, Hatman, will you smash Kathy? Definitely not. But yeah, the BT Box Nation deal, I don't really know much about BT Sport because, I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in years. So some of you guys who are from the UK, you'll have to educate me on how big BT in terms of their television actually is. But if it's as big as Frank Warren says it is, and they're going to have pay-per-view capability and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, it could be very big, and it could be a serious problem for Eddie Hearn. But I think branding is a big deal, and the Sky brand, to me, as somebody that hasn't watched TV for a long time, to me, the Sky brand still carries more weight with the public. So BT are going to have to do a lot, I think, to try and build up their brand in terms of providing boxing, at least in the eyes of the public. So we'll see. Hatman, which coverage is the best, HBO or Sky Sports? I'll call me my mind. HBO, personally. Yeah, I prefer HBO. Phantom says Hatman and Duva should make a sex tape. That is, Phantom, you get the award for most disturbing comment of the night. And I know you were going for that award as well. Vodcek versus Chilemba, thoughts? I think it's a very interesting fight, and if Chilemba comes with as much ambition as he did in the Kovalev fight, I think Vodcek could be in for a very, very tough time indeed. Yeah, I think Vodcek could have a lot of problems if Chilemba's serious. Yeah, BT Sport have Champions League, so a lot of viewers. But in terms of boxing, but I suppose they can promote their boxing, at the same time, the same way that Sky promote their boxing. They have adverts for the boxing all the way across their different channels. So when their football is playing, they'll have adverts in between with the boxing. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be a big, big help for Box Nation. So he was running away from Valuev just like Scott against Ortiz. Yeah, he was, but the difference being Valuev wasn't landing any punches, whereas Ortiz was. Yes, Tom Blogger, what's good? Nice to have you tuned in. Valuev was 7 foot tall. Yeah, he should have been able to land some punches. Why can't you post us the link, Hatman? I don't want to risk it, to be honest, because copyright is a very serious thing. And if you come on YouTube and you start posting links to illegal streams, you can have problems. So the best advice I would give you would be to go to my Facebook boxing group, and there are people posting streams in there. I mean, if other people want to post links to streams, that's nothing to do with me, but I'm not gonna post no links to streams. So yeah, if you're on Facebook, try my Facebook boxing group. There's plenty of links to streams in there. Yannick says Hatman, Kovalev, and Ward have arrived. Max says, what do you make of Andy Ruiz's weight loss? I think it's pretty remarkable, and I'm wondering whether he's lost too much weight in too short a time frame. My boxing group is called Hatman Boxing. Yeah. Nathan Sterling says, Hatman, I think Waters can stop Lomachenko. Expand on that. Why do you think he can stop it? I mean, he's got the power, but does he have the necessary know-how and skill to get the punches landed? Triple G versus DeGale. My opinion is that right now, based on DeGale's last few performances, I think Triple G would win. DeGale hasn't looked great of late to me, so that's my view. Where do you think the winner of tonight goes? Says Michael. The winner of tonight, hopefully, will unify. Well, actually, it depends who the winner is. If Ward wins, then we will almost certainly see a rematch, because Kovalev has got a rematch clause in the contract, which is standard. I don't know why everybody, certain people are making a fuss about Kovalev having a having a rematch clause. It's a voluntary defense at the end of the day. So virtually all champions that make voluntary defenses have a rematch clause in the contract. That's just standard practice. So yeah, if Ward wins, we'll see a rematch. But if Kovalev wins, maybe. Actually, no, I don't even want to say the Stevenson fight's gonna happen, because HBO. First of all, HBO and Al Heyman have got beef. They don't like each other. They don't do business anymore, and that's, I think, the big problem, is the beef between HBO and Al Heyman. That's why the fight is not happening, I think. Sean says, how would Ward Stevenson go if Ward beats Kovalev? I'm not sure, I find it an interesting fight. Stevenson is a boxer tricks. He's an interesting fighter to me. Stevenson, he's got power, But because his arms are so long, he's quite good on the outside boxing as well. Christian Lewis says, how's it going, Hatman? I'm a big fan of yours, your shows. Keep it up. And thank you for locking in, Christian Lewis. I appreciate the support. Rematch for sure, unless Kovalev gets utterly destroyed. Yeah. Yeah, unless Ward puts the kind of beating on him that would make him not want to take a rematch. So, yeah. Will Ruiz still be heavyweight with his weight loss? Wouldn't he drop down to cruiser? No, I don't think so. I think Ruiz will probably come in 240 pounds, 245 pounds, there or thereabouts. Because you have to understand that his weight in previous fights has been 270 pounds, 260 pounds. He's been huge. So, Don Dunny says Ward getting knocked out. Walters will be good. Liam says Walters will be good on the inside against Lomachenko. When is Parker Ruiz? Parker Ruiz is on December 10th, the same night as Joshua versus Molina and Chisora versus Dylan White. Do you think Ward would dodge that rematch if he wins? I don't see how he could dodge it. He's contractually obliged. Sorry, he's contractually obliged to take it. So the only way to dodge it would be if he vacated the belts, or maybe if he retired. I think he's contractually obliged, so he has to take it. Unless he did a Tyson Fury, you know. I'm not saying Fury dodged the Klitschko rematch, but he managed to get out of it by being stripped and having whatever problems he's had. So if something like that happened to Ward, then maybe he'd be able to get out of it. Yes, I saw Walter's last fight, and it was definitely not a draw. I have no idea how they had it a draw. Hatman, are you watching the De La Rosa Stevens fight right now? I've already watched it. The stream that I have got already showed the Stevens fight where he knocked out the guy. I've already seen it. TS 1999 says December is better than the whole of 2016 for the heavyweight division. True indeed. For whatever reason, we've had to wait until December to get all the good heavyweight fights in one go. Strange but true. He knocked out the guy in, was it a second round? I think second or third round. Stevens knocked out the guy with an uppercut, one punch. Yeah. Watch White Lewison fight, and White got hit a lot. I think Chisora has the conditioning to win. I think Lewison is a lot more skilled than Derek Chisora. I think he hits harder as well. I do think it will be a spirited effort from Chisora though, because it's a grudge match, and Chisora's got a lot of pride going up against Lewison. Sorry, going up against Dylan White. So yeah, I do think that it will be a spirited effort from Chisora, but I just feel like Dylan White is the better boxer. He's got better skills, and I think that will tell in the end. Nathan Sterling says, Hatman, who do you think wins between Furman and Garcia? I was saying Furman all along, but after watching Garcia in his last fight, he seems a lot sharper to me. His movement seems better. So I'm probably still picking Furman, but I'm not as convinced now that Furman's going to win. Because I think Garcia may actually have more energy and more ability to move at welterweight than he had at light welterweight. So, yeah. Hatman, do you miss Emmanuel Stewart? I definitely miss him. As a trainer and as an analyst, I think he was great. Hatman, what was your style when you boxed? I kind of morphed. At first, I was more of a pressure fighter, but as my amateur career went on, I kind of developed into a boxer puncher rather than a pressure fighter. And I was actually better as a boxer puncher than a pressure fighter. Tom Blogger says Lewison is a fatter Chisora, and I don't think he has better ability or around the same level. I completely disagree. I think Lewison is far better technically than Chisora. He had a much better amateur career. I think he's got much better boxing skills. He punches more correctly. He counter punches, which is something Chisora's never done in his life. Nah, I totally disagree with that. I think Lewison, from a technical point of view, is several levels above Chisora. I think the only thing Chisora really has over Lewison is the fitness. I think that's all he really has. Lewison is technically good. Whereas Chisora is very crude. Even this far into his professional career, he still can't throw punches correctly. He's still slapping, and he's just a crude fighter. I see, Liam says, the day I see Chisora counter punches, the day I'm in heaven. I've never seen him throw a counter punch in his entire career, Chisora. I mean, maybe I missed one, but generally speaking, he does not throw counter punches at all. Yeah, Garcia seemed faster to me. He seemed sharper to me in his last fight. I know he wasn't fighting anybody good, but just in terms of his movement, I've seen Garcia fight weak opposition before. Like when he fought Rod Salka, that was weak opposition, but he was still flat-footed when he fought Rod Salka. But when he fought the guy the other night, Sammy Vargas, I think he was called, he just looked a lot lighter on his feet. He had upper body movement. Yeah. Brewster versus Chisora. Hatman, how do you see it? A prime Brewster definitely beats Chisora. 100%. Do you rate Hughie Fury, and how far do you think he can go? I'm not sure. I do rate Hughie Fury's, I want to say, skills, his boxing ability for a guy of his size, but those skills and that boxing ability has to be tested against some meaningful opposition before we can really know how good it is. But I think he's definitely got potential, Hughie Fury, and he's only very young. I think he's like only 22 or something like that now. He's very young, so he's got plenty of time. Hopefully he keeps improving. Hartman, how do you think the Dylan White AJ rematch will go, considering White is in better condition? I would still, at this point in time, I would still pick AJ. White would last longer, I think, but I would still pick AJ. But White is improving fight by fight, and because of the fact that he was in such poor condition when he fought Joshua the first time, White is improving faster than Joshua's improving because of the fact that he has got so much improvement to do in terms of his fitness. So we'll see where White is at by mid 2017, and then I'll have a look at him and, you know, see if I think that I need to change my view on how the AJ rematch might go. Who do you think is stronger between Ward and Kovalev? Well, I'm not sure. We'll find out when they get in the ring. But what I can say is Ward looks big next to Kovalev. He definitely looks physically big. Sullivan Barrera was massive, and I think Ward struggled a little bit with Barrera's physical strength. He wasn't able to really manhandle Barrera the way he was manhandling people at super middleweight. But Barrera's just huge. I think Barrera's way bigger than Kovalev. Tom Blogger says, I've watched Molina a lot and he has far more ability than is given credit for. Yeah, um, Molina's sneaky. I can say that. He's quite a sneaky fighter. He knows how to set up his power punches and land big shots, Molina. But the issue with Molina is that his chin is quite weak. That's my main problem with Molina. He is quite a sneaky fighter. Yeah, I will say that for him. He's not just a crude Derek Chisora type fighter. Molina is sneaky. He is quite clever. Hatman, Frotch Old Nose versus Frotch New Nose. Definitely Frotch Old Nose. That was part of his character. Now he's got the new nose. I mean, he's not in boxing anymore. He's not fighting, so I guess he prefers the new nose. But for a fighter, he had the fighter's nose. So yeah, Frotch. In fact, what do you guys think of Frotch calling Triple G a hype job? Because that's what he said the other day on Twitter. He's calling Gennady Golovkin a hype job. How do you rate Jarrell Big Baby Miller? Uh, he's very strong, and I think against certain type of fighters, he's gonna do well. But anybody that is slick and is gonna give him movement, especially if they have a little bit of pop as well, I think Miller's gonna have problems because he is very, very big. Corruption in Boxing says Ward lacked the strength to physically handle a 168 Alexander Brand. I didn't see that myself. I saw Ward doing what he liked with Brand. I mean, Brand was on the back foot the whole fight. I don't really think Ward struggled. I think he did what he wanted in that fight. He didn't have the power to get rid of Brand, but in terms of physical strength, he did what he wanted with the guy. And that's the thing with Ward. Ward is not a big puncher, but he is a guy that has physical strength. He's very strong. He outstrengthed Frotch on the inside, Alan Green, and many other guys at 168. They couldn't live with Ward's strength up close. He is very strong. Hatman, could Corey Sanders upset AJ like Vlad? Very possibly. Very possibly. Kovalev by KO in the ninth. Put a 5 on it now. What are the odds for that for Kovalev by KO in the ninth? Data support says AJ fans don't even know that this fight is on. It is a fight for the hardcore. Definitely. Hammond, who do you think can beat Dylan White other than AJ, Fury, Wilder, and Vlad? Um, Maybe Povetkin, Ortiz. I know a lot of people feel like Ortiz looked bad against what's the guy? I forgot his name now. The guy that Ortiz just fought, Malik Scott. Yeah, I know people felt like he looked bad against Malik Scott, but Dylan White is not gonna fight like Malik Scott. He's not gonna move around all over the place, and you know he's gonna trade with Ortiz, and that'll give Ortiz opportunities, sorry, to land his own shots. So yeah, well, from what I saw in the fight, Ward was able to handle Brand quite easily in terms of physical strength, and he was really messing around in there. He was really just going for the KO, loading up on the big left hand. He even turned southpaw and was trying to knock him out. So I have no doubt that Andre Ward is extremely strong. I mean, you look at the Frotch fight, manhandled him. Look at the Green fight, manhandled him. Even Sakio Bika couldn't push Andre Ward back, and Sakio Bika is extremely strong. So yeah, I think Ward, pound for pound, is one of the strongest fighters around. He's very strong. Hammond, can you explain that someone can be physically strong and have no power? Well, having punching power is the ability to transfer your weight to the end of your fist and do so quickly enough that you can land it on your opponent's chin, on the target. So that is a different dynamic than being physically strong, like when you're in a clinch and you're using slow twitch muscle fibers to try and push people around and all that kind of stuff. It's different. There are a lot of guys, and anybody who has boxed or just been in and around amateur gyms, you'll know that you see from time to time these big meatheads that come into the gym, guys who are big muscular, like weightlifters, bodybuilders, and they'll come into the gym and you see them on the bag and they can't punch for shit. You'll see a little welterweight that hit harder than these big muscular guys on the bag, even though they've got the physical strength. You know, a welterweight couldn't wrestle with a guy that size. You get crushed. But in terms of punching power, they don't have the power, because a lot of power comes down to technique. And some people have a natural aptitude for punching hard. They have a natural leverage, and some people don't have a natural leverage. Hatman, can White beat Wilder? If Wilder's hand is okay, then I would say no, White will not beat Wilder. But yeah, we need to find out what Wilder's hand is like, because Wilder really is very, very reliant on his right hand. So if that right hand is out of commission in a bad way, then he's gonna have problems with a lot of people, I think. Definitely he's gonna have a lot of problems. All right, 1 second, guys. My stream has decided to stop for some reason. Where's my stream gone? Oh, okay. Yeah, Tebow was right. Tebow was right. The stream I was watching before was not live. It was a pre-recorded of a different night. So yeah, disregard what I said about Stevens and Lemieux. That was not live. Now I'm watching the live Stevens fight. Okay. Thank you to Tebow for the heads up. I got confused there. Now I'm on the live stream finally. Alright, Stevens is fighting this guy. And this guy looks a little slick. I've never seen this guy box before, I don't think. What's your opinion on people saying boxing is a limited form of fighting? Well, anything with rules is a limited form of fighting. You know, MMA, UFC is a limited form of fighting, because in the street, people will bite, headbutt, eye gouge. They'll do anything. Kick people in the balls. So anything with rules is a limited form of fighting. Yeah, fighting to the death is not a limited form of fighting. Could we one day see a face-off on Sky featuring Hatman? I doubt it, because I don't like working for people. I'm the kind of person that would rather take less money and work for myself than more money and work for somebody else. I don't like people giving me orders and telling me what to do and when I can go on holiday and when I can have time off. I don't like all that. I like working for myself. UFC is pure fighting. It's certainly a more expanded form of fighting than boxing, but I wouldn't really say it's pure fighting because on the streets there's a hell of a lot more stuff that goes on than than in the cage. Harley Marshall says, "Are you self-employed?" Yes, I've been self-employed for many years now, and I would not go back to working for people. You know, no disrespect to anybody who does work for people, because obviously, you know, previously I was working for people, but I reached a stage in my life where I was like, you know what? I can't work for people no more. Sports Epicenter is issue. It says the issue is it can be more difficult working for yourself. Well, in some ways, but it depends what you do. You know, depends what you do. Charlie says on the streets anything goes. Indeed. I mean, look at Tyson Fury's dad. He went to prison for gouging a guy's eye out, and you wouldn't get that in a cage. Yeah, Triple G's body is not huge, but he has a lot of power in his hands. Yeah, I mean, the most muscular guys are not usually the guys with the biggest punches anyway. A lot of the time, the more slender guys actually hit harder. You got guys like Gerald McClellan, Tommy Hearns, Felix Trinidad. They were all slim guys, but they hit extremely hard. No, I don't smoke. Hay or Usyk? That's a very good fight, actually. I would like to see it. And I would slightly, man, I don't know, you know. I might favor Usyk, but I need to see Hay in a long fight to see what he's still got left at his age. Because, you know, he hasn't really fought anybody meaningful. If he's still the old David Hay, then I'll probably lean towards Hay. But I suspect that he might not be the old David Hay. Man, which boxer would be best to have at your side in a street fight? Dylan White would be pretty good in a street fight because he's done MMA, he's done kickboxing, he's done boxing, and he's had plenty of street fights. So yeah, Dylan White would be a good guy if you gotta go to war in the streets. Stevens gasses about 8 rounds ago. Stevens gassed about 8 rounds ago. Stevens does tend to gas. I've never really rated Stevens as a fighter, to be honest. Never really rated him. Parker or Ruiz, hat man. I can't wait to find out towards Parker, but I could see Ruiz winning it. Definitely. Hatman, who do you think is the hardest hitting puncher in boxing history for their weight class? Well, it's really impossible to say because there have been so many fighters, but I can tell you that there are a couple guys who I remember from my time watching boxing over the past few decades that stand out. Julian Jackson was definitely one of them. For his weight class, he was just a phenomenal puncher. And also Prince Nassim was a wicked puncher for his size. Just a tremendous puncher. Prince Nassim, when he would hit people, it was almost as if he was making no effort. It was effortless. But guys would be flying all the way across the ring when he got caught by this guy. So, you know, Nassim had tremendous punching power for his size. I'm not saying he was the greatest fighter or anything like that. Some people think he was overrated, this, that, or the other. But in terms of just pure punching power, Nassim was just crazy. His power was insane. Tom Blogger says, what will you say if Chisora flat out KOs White? Um, what will I say? I mean, it's heavyweight boxing. Lennox Lewis got flat out KO'd by Hasim Rahman. He wasn't supposed to, but it happened. It's heavyweight boxing. McCall knocked him out as well. That wasn't supposed to happen, but I just feel like White is a better fighter than Chisora. I think he's more skilled. I think he's more talented, and I just think he's gonna win. I'm not saying that it won't be competitive. I think it will be, but I think White will win on points. That's what I'm going for. Didn't White to beat Chisora on points. What do you think of Rigondeaux being ducked? Um, I think that Rigondeaux made some poor business decisions, which made it easier for fighters to duck him. Yeah, I'm not, uh, you know, not letting the guys who ducked him off the hook, but yeah, his poor business decisions made it easier for them to do so. Moses says, where do you rank Nassim in British boxing? I mean, he can't be at the top, but in terms of excitement, in terms of providing entertainment, then yeah, Prince Nassim is one of the best things that ever happened to British boxing, because he was just exciting. And so many British boxing fans that I come across say that Prince Nassim was the whole reason that they actually got into boxing, because a lot of his fights used to be on ITV and then they switched over to Sky and whatnot. And Prince Nassim fights were really an event in the UK. Every time he fought, he was an event, and he was exciting. He had an exciting style. He was eccentric. He was braggadocious, and he was a very hard puncher. He could punch extremely hard with both hands. So he was great for British boxing, I think. Nassim had no sleep, and he was on a drip hours before the Barrera fight. No wonder he lost. Yeah, yeah. Also, Nassim had been boxing from when he was like 8 years old. So there comes a time where you can get a bit tired of the sport. So, Hatman, did you hear about that scumbag driver in Croydon? Uh, Tram driver. Yeah, I heard about the tram thing, yeah. Do you think Callum Smith will become world champion in future? I don't see why not. Right now, the super middleweight division is not particularly strong, so I don't see why it couldn't be. Mr. Sterling says, Hatman, who do you think has the best chance of beating Floyd Mayweather? As in today or of all time? Yeah, Bruno was a very hard puncher. Tebow. He was very, very heavy-handed. And yeah, people were flying around the ring when he hit them. He was a very hard puncher. Very, very heavy-handed guy. Hatman, do you travel a lot? I try to. Yeah. I don't like staying in one place for too long, so I try to keep it moving. Yeah, Hatman, you're wrong. Stevens didn't finish. De La Rosa went to points, you nutter. I already addressed that about 5 or 10 minutes ago. I addressed that because I was watching a pre-recorded stream. I didn't realize it was pre-recorded and not live, so I already addressed it about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, Phantom, I think you are speaking from your fantasies. I don't think you're speaking from reality when you say that. At least I hope you're speaking from your fantasies and it's not reality. Yeah, it's quite incredible that some people think that uh Conor McGregor versus Mayweather in a boxing ring would even be competitive. McGregor couldn't beat anybody in the top 10 of, the welterweight division in a boxing match. Probably not even in the top 30. Andre or Sergey? That is the question. That is the question. Who have you guys got? Andre or Sergey? And by what method? How's the fight gonna go? Rod Salka versus Conor McGregor. See, now we're talking, Mr. Solitude. Hatman, do you think Kovalev is a secret communist spy working for the KGB? No, I don't. Yeah, you can't write Kovalev off. He's got the power. You can never write off a guy that has the kind of power that Kovalev has got. Because Kovalev is not a regular big puncher. He is an outlandish, oversized puncher. So you can't count a guy out that hits that hard. Very, very good puncher. Some crazy questions coming in here. Who do you think would win in a fight between Rolf Harris and Gary Glitter? Boy, let him fight to the death. Yeah, but the questions are coming in way too fast for me to even read now. Kovalev couldn't even KO a 49-year-old Hopkins. Yeah, Hopkins ain't a normal 49-year-old though, to be fair. He's KO'd plenty of guys who are younger than Hopkins, so... Alright, the Vodcek fight is about to take place against Isaac Chilemba. This is going to be good. What you guys reckon is going to happen here? Vodcek against Chilemba. How's this going to go? Okay, Chilemba on point, says Liam. If Chilemba is in shape and he's as motivated as he was for the Kovalev fight, then yeah, I think he's got a very good chance of winning. But will he get robbed? We might see a robbery. Yeah, it is the lad who fought Carpensi, Cam. Yeah, it's the same guy. We'll see how this fight goes. Alright, I'm going to end this stream right here and go get some refreshments for myself and maybe start up another stream in a few minutes time. We'll see. So thanks for you guys tuning in. Definitely catch you after the fight if I don't do another stream before the fight. So yeah, I'm out.